Have you ever wondered why some women always have impeccable and charming homes, even with a busy schedule? There is a secret that many women around the world have discovered that can completely transform your home too. In this video, I will reveal 7 powerful habits that will make your home always organized and with that special touch that everyone admires. If you're tired of spending hours cleaning and organizing without seeing lasting results, or if you feel like your home never quite looks the way you dream of, then you need to stick around until the end of this video. I'm going to share with you the same methods that have transformed my home and the homes of thousands of others around the world. What you'll discover here are simple but revolutionary techniques that will change the way you take care of your home forever. And the best part is that you don't have to spend a lot of money or dedicate hours of your day. These are small adjustments to your routine that make a huge difference in the final result. So get ready, because by the end of this video, you will have in your hands all the tools you need to have a home that is always impeccable and charming. Shall we begin? Tip 1. The 5-minute rule that changes everything. The first habit that makes all the difference is the famous 5-minute rule. This simple technique solves one of the biggest problems we face at home: the accumulation of small messes that turn into big problems. The problem this solves is that constant feeling that there's always something to fix. You know how it is, right? You clean the whole house on the weekend, but by Tuesday it already looks like a hurricane has passed through. This happens because we let the little tasks pile up until they become mountains. The 5-minute rule works like this. Whenever you see something that can be done in 5 minutes or less, do it right away. It could be putting your shoes away, folding the clothes that are on the chair, washing the cup you just used, or organizing the papers on your desk. I'll give you a practical example that happened to me yesterday. I got home after work and saw my bags thrown on the couch, my shoes in the middle of the living room, and some letters on the kitchen table. In the past, I would have thought, I'll tidy up later. But by applying the 5-minute rule, I spent exactly 3 minutes putting my bag away, putting my shoes on the shoe rack, and organizing the letters. That's it. My house was still tidy. The benefits of this practice are incredible. First, you will never again feel overwhelmed by household chores. Second, your home will always be presentable for unexpected guests. And third, you will save hours on the weekends that you would previously spend doing general cleaning. Tip 2. The single entry method that transforms your routine. The second revolutionary habit is to create a single entry system in your home. This method solves a problem that almost all of us face: the mess that forms right at the entrance of the house and spreads to all other rooms. You know that scene? You get home, throw your bag anywhere, your shoes are scattered, your keys are gone, your coat goes on the first chair you see. In a few minutes, your entrance turns into chaos, and this affects the look of the entire house. The single entryway method involves creating an organized station right at the entrance of your home. This could be a small sideboard, a dresser, or even a simple table. The important thing is to have a specific place for each item you use every day. Let me tell you how I put this into practice. Right at the entrance to my house, I have a small dresser with 3 essential elements: a pretty tray for keys and glasses, a discreet hook on the wall for bags and coats, and a low shoe rack that also serves as a bench for putting on shoes. The routine is simple. As soon as I get home, I put my keys on the tray, hang my bag on the hook, take off my shoes, and put them away in the shoe rack. It takes less than a minute, but it makes a huge difference to the look of my home. Plus, I never waste time looking for my keys when I leave again. The direct benefits are fantastic. Your home will always have a welcoming and organized entrance. You will never waste time looking for essential items again. And most importantly, you will come home and immediately feel that sense of peace and organization that we all desire. Tip 3. The one-at-a-time technique that keeps everything in place. The third habit that will transform your home is the one-at-a-time technique. This strategy solves one of the most common problems in home organization: the tendency to leave several tasks half done, creating a constant feeling of clutter and unfinished work. The problem happens when you start to tidy up one room, but halfway through the process, you see something that needs to be put away somewhere else. Then you move on to the second room, see something else that needs attention, and so on. At the end of the day, you have 5 messy rooms instead of one organized one. The one-at-a-time technique is simple but powerful. You choose a specific environment or task and only move on to the next one when you have completely finished the first one. No leaving it half done, no getting distracted by other tasks. Let me give you a real-life example of how I use this technique. Yesterday, I decided to organize my room. During the process, I realized that there were some clothes that needed to go to the laundry room and a book that needed to go back to the bookshelf in the living room. In the past, I would go to the laundry room and then to the living room, probably getting distracted by other things along the way. But by applying the one-at-a-time technique, I simply put the clothes in a pile in the corner of the room and the book on top of the dresser, completely finished organizing the room, and only then did I move the items to their final places. And the benefits are immediate and long-lasting. First, you will always have the satisfaction of seeing a job completely finished, which increases your motivation to continue. Second, you become much more efficient because you don't waste time going back and forth between different environments. And third, by developing this habit, you will never again have that feeling that you are always tidying but never finishing anything. Before continuing with the next tip, if you are enjoying these strategies, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any new tips. And tell me in the comments where you are watching from. I love knowing that these tips are reaching people all over Brazil and even other countries. Tip 4. The secret to always free surfaces. The fourth transformative habit is to keep surfaces free. This technique solves a visual problem that drastically affects the perception of organization in your home. The accumulation of objects on tables, countertops, dressers, and other surfaces. When surfaces are full of objects, even if they are useful and organized, our home gives the impression of mess and disorganization. It's amazing how this simple detail can completely change the feeling of a room. The key is to adopt the rule that every surface should be at least 80% free. This means that you can have some decorative or frequently used items, but the majority of the surface should be visible and clean. Let me show you how I apply this in practice. On my coffee table in my living room, for example, I have only 3 items: a small vase of flowers, a scented candle, and the remote control on a pretty tray. Everything else on the table is free. On the kitchen counter, I keep only the jar of most used utensils and the coffee maker. All the other appliances are stored in the cabinets. Implementation is gradual but effective. Start by choosing one surface each day and remove all objects. Then put back only the items that you actually use every day or that have decorative value. The rest should have a specific place to be stored. The visual benefits are impressive. Your home will immediately appear cleaner, more organized, and more spacious. Plus, cleaning becomes much quicker and easier when you don't have to keep moving things around every time you mop. And there are psychological benefits too. Environments with clean surfaces convey a sense of calm and control that positively impacts your well-being. Tip 5. The strategy of special corners that make a difference. The fifth habit is to create special corners around the house. This technique solves a very common problem: having a functional but personality-less home, or having a charming but completely disorganized home. We often think that we have to choose between functionality and beauty, but the truth is that we can have both. The secret is to create small spaces in the home that are both useful and charming. A special corner is a small space in your home that you decorate and organize with great care, thinking about both function and beauty. It could be a reading nook, a space for breakfast, a place for plants, or even a small work area. I'll tell you how I created my favorite special corner. In my bedroom near the window, I placed a comfortable armchair that I already had, a small side table, and a floor lamp. On this table, I always leave the book I'm reading, a pretty cup for afternoon tea, and a small vase with flowers. It's my personal refuge in the house. To create your special corner, start by identifying a space that is underutilized. It could be a corner of your bedroom, a space in your living room, or even a part of your kitchen. Then, think about what activity you would like to do in that space. Finally, organize the space with furniture and objects that make this activity more enjoyable and beautiful. The benefits are many. First, you'll have spaces in your home that bring you joy and pleasure every day. Second, these little corners become decorative focal points that elevate the look of your entire home. And third, by having special, well-organized places, you'll naturally feel more motivated to keep the rest of your home up to the same standard. Tip 6. The method of small daily routines that sustain everything. The sixth revolutionary habit is to establish small daily maintenance routines. This strategy solves the biggest challenge of home organization, keeping the house tidy on a consistent basis without it becoming a heavy, tiring task. The problem we all face is that we organize our homes with great effort, but after a few days, it returns to its previous state. This happens because we do not create maintenance systems that sustain the organization in the long term. The small routines method consists of dividing household maintenance tasks into small daily actions lasting no more than 10 minutes each. These routines become as automatic as brushing your teeth, and it is precisely this naturalness that ensures the sustainability of the system. Let me share my daily routine. In the morning, right after I get ready, I spend 5 minutes making my bed, putting away my pajamas, and quickly organizing the bathroom. In the afternoon, when I get home from work, I spend another 5 minutes putting everything back in its place using the 5-minute rule I mentioned earlier. At night before I go to bed, I take a quick walk around the house, putting away any misplaced items and getting everything ready for the next day. Implementation should be gradual. Start with just one simple routine, like making your bed every day. Once that becomes an automatic habit, add another small routine. Within a few weeks, you'll have a complete system working effortlessly. The benefits are life-changing. You'll never again have to spend entire weekends tidying up your home because it will always be relatively organized. Plus, these little routines create a sense of control and well-being that positively impacts other aspects of your life. Most importantly, you save mental energy because you no longer have to think about when and how you're going to tidy up your home. Before I move on to the next tip, I want to tell you about something special I prepared for those who want to go beyond this video. It's a complete guide with organization secrets that completely transform my home and can transform yours too. The link is in the pinned comment, and for a limited time, I'm offering a special discount for channel subscribers. Now let's move on to the next tip, which is one of my favorites. Tip 7. The less is more philosophy that transforms your home. The seventh and final habit is to adopt the philosophy of less is more. This approach solves a fundamental problem that affects most modern homes: the excess of objects that, even when well organized, create a feeling of visual clutter and make it difficult to maintain order. We often think that we need more furniture, more organizers, more cleaning products to have a perfect home. But the truth is that in most cases, we need less stuff. When we have fewer objects, each one of them can have more prominence and meaning. The philosophy of less is more doesn't mean living in an empty or characterless home. It means making conscious choices about what really deserves space in your home. Each object should have a clear function or bring genuine joy to your life. I'll give you a practical example of how I applied this in my living room. I used to have 3 decorative vases on the shelf, 2 picture frames, a collection of books I never read, and several other small objects. The shelf was full, but it didn't look pretty. Applying the philosophy of less is more, I kept only a vase with fresh flowers, a picture frame with a special photo, and half a dozen books that I really enjoy browsing. The result was a much more elegant and impactful shelf. To implement this philosophy, start by taking an honest look at your belongings. Go through each room and ask yourself, Does this serve me or bring me joy? When was the last time I used this? If I were moving house today, would I take this with me? Items that don't pass this test should be donated or discarded. The benefits are profound and long-lasting. First, your home will look noticeably more elegant and sophisticated because every element will have room to shine. Second, cleaning and organizing become much easier when you have fewer things to take care of. And third, you develop a more refined aesthetic sense, choosing quality over quantity in all your future purchases. Now you know the 7 habits that can completely transform your home. These aren't complicated techniques or methods that require a lot of time or money. They're simple changes to your routine that, when applied consistently, create extraordinary results. Remember that transformation happens gradually. Pick 1 or 2 habits to start with, stick with them for a few weeks until they become automatic, and then add the others. Consistency is much more important than perfection. Your home is your refuge, the place where you recharge your batteries and connect with the people you love. It deserves all the care and attention you can give it. When your home is organized and charming, this reflects on your self-esteem, your well-being, and even the way you present yourself to the world. If this video was useful to you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to receive all our organization tips. And tell me in the comments, which of these habits will you start implementing in your home today? I'm curious to know which tip made the most sense for you.